मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, curfew moved back to 10 p.m. No new COVID-19 cases. And senior diplomat VOLLMER granted bail.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Changes have been made to the daily curfew hours. From tomorrow, the nationwide curfew will begin at 10 p.m. and last until 5 a.m. daily. Prime Minister Bainimarama has also announced that all passenger inter-island travel by air and sea will resume from Sunday.
From Sunday morning, as inter-island travel resumes, all transportation vehicles, whether that's taxis, minibuses, buses, boats, or planes, are encouraged to provide hand sanitizers to passengers upon boarding. And members of the public are encouraged to wear masks while traveling.
Social gatherings of 20 people or fewer will be allowed. However, the Prime Minister stressed that some facilities will remain closed.
Nightclubs, swimming pools, cinemas and gyms will all continue to remain closed. Houses of worship as well will remain closed until further notice. Our schools will remain closed as well until the 12th of June 2020.
The Prime Minister says through the weekend all of their advisories remain in effect. Physical distancing of 2 meters should be maintained at all times. Individuals are urged to not share cigarettes or takis or mbilos during grog sessions and must limit unnecessary person-to-person contact as much as humanly possible. There are no new cases of COVID-19 in Fiji. Prime Minister Bainimarama says 114 samples have been tested since Monday and all have returned negative. Bainimarama says 10 of the 18 patients have made full recoveries from the virus. He also highlighted that health screening in Ba is progressing well. The Prime Minister says nationwide they've restocked with thousands of COVID-19 tests, a step critical to boosting confidence in the success of our containment efforts.
There are 8 active cases of COVID-19 confirmed in Fiji, meaning that for the first time, more Fijians have recovered than are currently still living with the virus. Our nation has prayed for these recoveries. Our healthcare heroes have provided the weeks of caregiving it's taken to heal these Fijians, and given the vast unknowns surrounding coronavirus, we are all grateful to see them cleared to leave isolation. I applaud every Fijian responsible for aiding these recoveries and delivering us this beacon of hope.
But Bainimarama says, as relieved as everyone is, we must still face some sobering realities.
No confirmed case of coronavirus in Fiji has been in a person over the age of 65. Most of our patients have had no underlying health conditions. We know that these factors, age and health, are directly linked to a person's chances of survival.
The Prime Minister, however, stressed that we must stay vigilant, disciplined, and keep ourselves one step ahead of the virus.
If we keep this course, we will be able to confidently rank ourselves among the nations leading the world in stomping out coronavirus. Our success so far leaves us reason for cautious optimism. We have isolated every close contact of every case of the virus in our country, a world-leading feat. Of the over 900 samples we've tested in Fiji, only 2% have returned positive, compared from up to 19% or even higher in harder-hit countries.
The Ministry of Health's mobile fever clinic has screened more than 330,000 Fijians since it began on April 2nd. The Health Ministry says this is more than a third of Fiji's population. Chief Medical Advisor Chimesa Thunravu also acknowledged the members of the health and disciplinary forces who are part of the fixed and mobile fever clinics.
Fever clinics continue to operate around the country and operating well, both the fixed and the mobile fever clinics. Reports we've received is that they've covered more than 330,000 members of our community, which is more than a third of our Fiji's population. This is a very significant feat.
Bravo adds 289 individuals are currently at the quarantine facilities in Nadi. He says no one has presented any symptoms to suggest that they have COVID-19. Employers trying to take advantage of the COVID-19 situation have been warned. The government is investigating complaints that some companies have breached the Employment Relations Act in implementing measures to reduce staff salaries. Edwin Nunn reports.
It's emerged that a number of employers have cut the hourly rate of staff due to the coronavirus outbreak, which, according to authorities, is illegal.
They cannot do that. It would be better for them to, for example, reduce the number of hours, but not reduce the hourly rate. You cannot reduce the hourly rate because the person is still doing the same job, and they still have the same level of expertise.
A reduction in the hourly rate means the employee still clocks in and out at the same time, but gets paid less for each hour worked. Syed Qayyum says most businesses, even in these financial hardships, are behaving morally, making sure that workers have at least something to take home.
What they've done, they've reduced hours, but they've split their workers. So some say may come on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, others come on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So everybody gets a piece of the pie, but they have not reduced the hourly rate, which is the right thing to do.
The Employment Ministry is already investigating 305 labour complaints of a similar nature. The Employment Minister Parveen Kumar is in fact in the Western Division right now, meeting with companies in this regard. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Former senior diplomat Solo Mara appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon facing new charges. Mara is charged with one count each of obtaining a financial advantage and causing a loss. It is alleged that between September 2016 and October 2017, Mara caused payments to be made to himself from the Washington Embassy funds, amounting to $38,481 while serving as the Fijian ambassador to the United States of America. FICA counsel informed the court that this charge stands out from the original investigation. Mara has been released on $1,000 bail with 2 sureties and ordered to abide by the existing bail conditions. The prosecution has also requested for 21 days to serve second phase of disclosures. The matter has been adjourned to 28th May. The Fiji National Provident Fund has assured that members' retirement funds are still safe despite withdrawals under the COVID-19 relief package. Chief Executive Chauchi Koroi says the funds are being drawn out of individual members' general accounts and not the preserved accounts, which is meant for retirement. Vinina Rakautonga with the details.
The FNPF chief executive setting the record straight that retirement funds will not be affected by allowing members to withdraw as part of the COVID-19 and TC Herald relief packages.
Previously, members can access up to 2/3 of their funds, and there were over 23 grounds of withdrawals. But as part of the reform, we have made sure that enough balances are protected for members' retirement. And you'll see that we are only allowing members access as per allowed under the law, which is their general account.
Koroi has clarified that under the law, members are only eligible to access their general account, which is 30% of their savings.
Members have 2 accounts with us, with the fund. One is a general account, which we can access while we're still working for various grounds of withdrawals, particularly the housing, medical, funeral, unemployment are some of those 5 key grounds that we have. But we only touch from our 30%. 70% is preserved for retirement.
Employers have been urged to assist their employees in the processing of their documents to make it efficient for FNPF.
It's very important for employers to assist us in having their employees' forms filled and sent to us properly and promptly, so that we can assist our members who are their employees.
The FNPF says proper records are being maintained for all applications made to ensure accountability. Venina Rakotonga, FBC News.
Up ahead, overwhelming support for food bank and Ramadan to begin under COVID-19 restrictions.
Pula nadang go apros lang kerse, go erkraki. Do televisi na barong na radio Fijuan, nandom ibit.
Radio Fiji 1 nandom.
The hierarchy of the Social Democratic Liberal Party says it will soon make a decision on whether to appeal a High Court ruling that the SEDELPA annual general meeting last June was invalid. Party leader Sitiveni Rumbuka has released a statement urging party members to remain steadfast. Rumbuka says they are reviewing the judgment in detail with lawyers and will soon make a decision on what needs to be done next. The party leader adds that SEDELPA remains committed to the ideals and principles of its founding members and to respect the rule of law. He confirms that party president Ro Felipe Tuisawao, vice president Andi Litiangioni Baravi, and general secretary Usaya Pita Wangatairewa will keep their positions. The High Court, in its judgment, denied an application for the 3 positions to be declared vacant. The first batch of food packs from the VOLLMER Food Bank was distributed to families under lockdown in Soso, Lambasa today. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has been receiving overwhelming support from corporate companies as well as individuals who are eager to be part of this worthy cause. Koroi Tandalala reports.
The VOLLMER Food Bank Initiative is a corporate social responsibility program initiated by the FCCC in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Trade and Transport.
Assist those families that have been put into quarantine or have been put into lockdowns as a result of COVID-19, and their ability to earn and their ability to basically get food on the table has been put into jeopardy just because of COVID-19, and so that is the target group.
Abraham says they're closely liaising with the Ministry of Health and the Fiji Police Force to identify settlements where they need assistance.
We are also looking at the other settlements that have been put under lockdown. We've been told that some of them not only do they need food packs, but there's some elderly people that need things like adult diapers. So we are also working on getting access to things like adult diapers, sanitary pads, diapers for babies, just to make sure that these families have access to the essential items.
Abraham says the outpouring support from Good Samaritans across the country is a reflection of the VOLLMER spirit in Fiji. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The coronavirus pandemic has caused drastic changes across the world, forcing people to adjust to new realities. With the month of Ramadan starting tomorrow, our Muslim brothers and sisters will not be able to gather in large numbers to break fast, pray or do charitable work as has been the practice. Pranita Prakash reports.
This year, followers of Islam will observe the holy month of Ramadan in new ways.
Ramadan this year is going to be very different because every time when the month of Ramadan comes, people they get together to the mosque. It's because of this pandemic and these virus issues. So we have asked all our Muslim brothers and sisters to stay home and pray at home.
For these young men, things won't be as before.
Previously, as soon as we open our fast and finish with our prayers, the last one, the Taraweeh, and then you hang out with your mates, you go down for coffee, you go to friend's place, chill for a bit before you head home. So now you'll be at home, curfew starts. As soon as you're at home, you do your prayers, you open your fast, and you learn more previously, as other years, you'll learn more, you'll get to know more, spend time with your family. That's all it teaches it.
In normal times, this mosque in Turek Suva would be filled to the capacity of people spilling out on the streets on the eve of Ramadan. This year, however, due to physical distancing, fewer people will be able to come in for prayers.
Abide by the law and the restrictions and the limitations that are imposed by the authorities. Always listen to them and heed to them and make sure that you don't break either a curfew or any of the limitations, restrictions in terms of the social distancing requirement that is being imposed.
During the holy month, followers of Islam often donate for charitable cause and feed the poor. This year, the Fiji Muslim League will be dropping the parcels at the doorsteps of the unfortunate ones. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Suva City Council today emphasised on the importance of planting trees as International Arbor Day was observed. Oak trees were planted around the capital city. Board of Special Administrators Chair Sikeli Tikundundua says these trees are one of the few that absorbs the most carbon dioxide. He says the event is also in line with their program to beautify Suva. Tikundundua also urged parents to educate their children about the importance of planting trees.
So what we're doing is we are sending a message to all the moms and dads now, especially with the COVID-19 restriction movement, that children are at home. So this is an opportunity for you to get them out from watching Netflix and video games and plant some trees, because these trees helps in reducing the carbon emission.
Technicians have an important role to play in protecting the ozone layer. Speaking at the recent World Earth Day celebration, the West Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Association highlighted that by producing a clean and efficient energy source for refrigerators, they will be able to protect the environment. Sanya Nimboila reports.
New environmental friendly systems will be retrofitted by the association in future to ensure our environment is protected.
By the emission of R22, we damage the ozone layer, also contribute more in climate change. As well as if there is an emission with the medium GWP, which is HFC R407C, the refrigerant will have a less effect on the climate change.
Gander says it's crucial for every technician to fulfill their obligation.
The policy makers makes the policy, but it is the industry personnel, the technician, whether they are able to stop the emission or not. Even anybody can make a policy, and the technician can hide and release the emissions. So it's the main key stake people are the technicians, end of that day.
Suddenly, they realized that while they were re-looking and repackaging this notion of economic growth, they realized that we have forgotten about the fundamentals, the foundation, that is the natural resource environment, and how the entire climate, almost climate is global in nature.
Dr. Reddy says it's about time we look at how we utilize our natural resources while undertaking development for economic growth. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
And Whitney joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break. BSP Life policyholders to benefit from record bonus. And work from home proving more productive. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi. And Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business, BSP Life customers will be sharing its record-breaking bonus allocation of $30 million for the 2019 financial year. Managing Director Michael Nozola announced the revisionary bonus rate for the 2019 as 2.5%, an increase of 0.5% compared to 2018. Nozola says this is the highest bonus allocation ever in BSP Life's over 140-year history. Total bonuses declared over the last 10 years amounts to approximately $196 million. The BSP Life investment portfolio was $765 million as at 31st December 2019. Nozola believes the news of the 2019 bonus allocation will provide comfort to its customers in these challenging times. Lockdown has forced businesses to work differently, with many staff now based at home. It could see a more permanent change as employees change their productivity away from their office. Gary from HFC Bank joins us with the latest from the world trading market.
Another round of daunting economic data arrived from the US, with most of the numbers coming in worse than economists' already pessimistic predictions. US initial jobless claims jumped by another 4.4 million last week, bringing the total number filing for first-time benefits to more than 26 million in the past 5 weeks. But the figure was down from last week's 5.2 million, giving some hope to investors that the worst in the job market may be over. New home sales in March tumbled more than 15% to an annual rate of 627,000. Japan's core consumer prices rose 0.4% in March from a year earlier. The rate of growth in Japan's annual core consumer inflation slowed for the second straight month. This was underscoring fears that slumping oil costs and soft consumption blamed on the pandemic may push the country back into deflation. Meanwhile, Japan's new economic stimulus package in response to the coronavirus pandemic is estimated to boost their real GDP by about 4.4%. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Minaka.
It was a mixed day for the currency exchange today. The Fijian dollar gained against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. Onto the commodities market, it was a gain all around again. The price of crude oil closed to $17.36 per barrel. Gold was up to $1,722 per ounce, while silver also gained, closing at $15.19 per ounce. That's it from Business Tonight. It's back to Jackie with the latest in sports.
In sports after the break, Fiji Sevens head coach Gareth Baber wary of players' fitness. And Eugene VOLLMER chases Olympic dream.
Bola, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Fiji Airways national men's sevens head coach Gareth Baber is wary that players might deviate from personal training due to restrictions in place in light of COVID-19. As Baber prepares to map out a plan for the HSBC 7 series in September, he is aware of the risks. Baber says players will need to bring their best performance in the next leg of the series.
You know, obviously there's a danger of not doing the work that they've done for a period of time. It's called detraining. We know that there'll be an element of detraining in this period that we've had, but we're quite confident and we know the planning that these boys need to do. We know the levels they've got to be at to play in a World Series.
Olympic hopeful Eugene VOLLMER is adamant that nothing changes for him as he uses the postponement of the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games as a means to prepare well for next year. The Pacific Games triple jump gold medalist says the deferment means ample time to physically and mentally prepare for the Games. VOLLMER says right now the biggest challenge is getting the right resources to help him train, given that all sporting facilities are closed. He has participated in 4 qualifying rounds over 2 months in Australia and hopes to become Fiji's first triple jumper to participate at an Olympic event. Junior badminton players are urged to keep themselves active and engaged during this period. Badminton Fiji was to hold a number of competitions from February until this month, but they were postponed as a safety measure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Tournament organizer Andra Whiteside believes, despite this, players should not be distracted as they have a greater task at hand.
We have the World Junior Championships that will be held, that is expected to be held in Auckland, New Zealand. We'll see whether it will continue or not. So, but in the meantime, we're still preparing for that and eyeing that for our junior players.
The turmoil in Rugby Australia continues with the resignation of its chief executive, Raylene Castle. And that's it from sports. Coming up in new media, Apple and Google have teamed up on COVID-19 contact tracing plan. Details after the break.
Bola, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Aloha to you and to Friday. It's finally here. I can actually smell the weekend from here. Now going back to the reason why I am here, it's all because of the great sunshine that is actually helping a lot of us with our farming, cleanups, and all that great stuff that we love to do on a sunny day. Now let's check out what the other centers had on their plates for the day. In the west, the skies cleared up all the rain elements. Sunshine actually pulled through well. Impressive. The temperatures rose a little. It almost felt like 36 or 37 degrees. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, there is absolutely very much chance of showers later tonight. After a hot day, it might help in cooling off. And up north, the weather did not disappoint at all. In fact, it was very appealing to do the things that we are not supposed to do during these times. So please, regardless of the amazing weather, don't do it. At sea, it is quite warm. Southeast winds will gust from 15 to 25 knots, moderate seas. Now turning to the tides. Low tide at 1:44 a.m. with high tide at 7:54 p.m. Sunrise at 6:18. For tomorrow, good news. The weather will be fine. The night will see a few sprinkles. So you're good for your shopping or marketing day. Tomorrow's temps looks like the temperatures will rise a little, but will stay in the low 30s. And looking further on to Sunday, light showers will continue. It looks like showers will accompany us till we get to the weekend. But despite it, you have yourselves a wonderful weekend. And Jackie, that lero is waiting for you at the market.
I'm sure it's waiting for you too. Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, what have you planted in your backyard garden?
Yeah, I planted the eggplant and the cabbage and choraya bhaji and cassava, kumala and dal.
I'm a tenant. I'm renting. Don't have any place, any space to plant around the house.
Something I plant there, dalo, cassava, little bit. I plant my backyard is watermelon and some cassava and some cabbage.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, curfew moved back to 10 p.m. No new COVID-19 cases, and senior diplomat Saul O'Mara granted bail. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking, should banks consider a loan repayment holiday for at least a year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, the sky painted a golden hue sent in by Shanal Kumar from Suva. Show us what you've been up to during the lockdown and movement restrictions. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, stay safe, stay home. Modamanta.
I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.